you guys doing? Why don't you guys come on up? Hey, Mitchell. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How's everyone doing today? What a wonderful day to be out here, and it's been a busy stretch, but we're here in a wonderful store, and I hope, I want to say, first of all, thank you for the folks for being so hospitable to have us out here. It's just a wonderful day to be here with some of our folks from the state police, from DNR, and be right here in the Bass Pro Shop. Guys, this must be one of your busiest time of the year, right?
Yes, sir.
It's got to be. We're here for an important day. We're here for a big announcement to announce the opening of Buck Firearms season, which starts Monday, November 24th. Now, I think many people know this is a season that's long cherished by West Virginians. And that's because it's not only the right time of year, but this is something that's so deeply woven into the fabric of West Virginia culture. And so many people talk about the many stories. It's a bonding ritual between family and friends and everyone in the community, which is really amazing. People get together and they connect with the great outdoors, and there's great reverence for the amazing beauty we have right here in West Virginia, and also the wildlife that we have, that we show respect to. Our people come together and they're creating wonderful memories every single year. And it's a reflection of what West Virginians are trying to do, which is to pass down the tradition from one family to the next. And every year you have those moments that get told again 30, 40 years down the line. Now, many people may not know this, but hunting is also an important part of our state's economy. In 2022, in West Virginia, more than 260,000 hunters spent more than $850 million on hunting-related purchases. Mr. General Manager, that's good for this shop, right?
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. And we know that hunting supports over 7,400 jobs right here in the Mountain State. We know that hunting's another great attraction, why people come to visit our great state. We know when the national park came together, it's one of the first places ever where you could hunt and fish at the national park. That was a pretty big deal. I think a reflection of how West Virginia handles things so well when it comes to hunting. Hunting strengthens our economy. Hunting strengthens our community. Quite frankly, hunting brings people together and traditions that get passed. It's a wonderful thing. Now, the 2-week Buck Firearms season runs November 24th through December 7th in every county except Logan, Mingo, Wyoming, and McDowell, which remain closed to firearms deer hunting. Hunters may take one buck with a base license, and anyone willing to harvest a second buck must purchase a Class RG or RRG stamp before the season begins. That's available at WVHunt.com. Why is it hunt.com or .org?
It's hunt.com.
It is hunt.com, which is odd because normally with the government it'd be .gov, but I wanted to be clear about that. So now what I'd like to do, I'd like to turn this over to our DNR, Brett McMillan, because he's going to talk a little bit about the latest regulations and the safety guidelines. So appreciate you being here today, Brett.
You bet. Well, Governor, we certainly thank you for your support. And man, what an exciting time. You nailed it. Hunting season in West Virginia. Mid-November, the rut's on. I can't tell you how excited I am, and I know there's thousands and thousands out there that have that same feeling. Hunting is so important to West Virginia. I mean, it is, as you stated, part of our heritage. And Governor, I'll tell you now, I've got all my licenses and stamps ready, so I am perfectly legal. But I would remind all the hunters out there, age 15 and older must carry a valid hunting license and ID unless you're exercising the landowner privileges. And as the Governor stated, those licenses and stamps are available at WVHunt.com. You can also check out our WVDNR.gov page, and it will link you in if you have trouble finding that one or just happen to forget. So there's a couple of different avenues to get you there. I would remind you to buy those extra buck stamps before season begins, as there is a deadline on those. We also have a concurrent antlerless season in select counties, so be sure to review the hunting regulations to determine what is legal in your particular county that you plan on hunting in. For all the youth hunters, adults, guardians, etc., set up those ELS accounts so they can check in those animals. They are not required to purchase a license, but they do have to check in and follow those parts of the game laws. And make sure you go ahead and get a hunter's ed course under their belt. That is required as well, and a very important piece of the puzzle. The check-in process has become very seamless over the last several years. Using our electronic license system, you can check those animals in right in the field if you desire. That helps with the field tag issue. I know I've lost a few of those things over the years and always been a little concerned before I was able to check my deer in, but now technology has just been great for us. You know, and before you start to move that deer, or if you have trouble locating, we have a new opportunity for our hunters this year, and that would be the opportunity to realize some benefit of some drone technology with our trackers. This year, the governor and legislature approved a change to Chapter 20 that allowed drone usage for tracking in the dog training bill. So there's a lot of hunters, or a lot of outfitters now, that are getting on board. I know several have been posting on Facebook about their success, and I tell you, if you have any kind of mobility issue, tracking down that mortally wounded animal, it is a definite win for the state of West Virginia to get current with technology. As I mentioned the regs earlier, those things are packed full of information, like the restrictions on feeding, baiting, and transport of carcasses in our CWD counties in the eastern panhandle. Those regs are kind of unique, but we need to follow those so that we can minimize that spread of CWD. We've had it in West Virginia for many years, but it's been contained into that area simply because we believe hunters are concerned and are following those recommendations made by our wildlife biologists. Hunters, be sure to wear 400 inches of blaze orange. And when shooting, identify your target and what is beyond. Safety is always our first and top priority when out hunting. And Governor, if I could take just a moment, we recognized Cabela's earlier, but the Bass Pro team led by GM Neil Depew have been phenomenal to work with. They have been tremendous supporters of DNR and all things hunting and fishing in this great state. And we've developed a superb partnership over the last few years. And they have made several donations, not only monetarily from their outdoor fund, but also physically by providing some labor to help things like the range at Kanawha State Forest, purchasing grills at the campground at Kanawha, and the docks at Plum Orchard Lake Wildlife Management Area. So Neil, I sincerely thank you and your team for what you do for this state. It's great having these partners that can spread that reach across the hunting and fishing anglers community. And you know, we've got this big sale going on this week. I really hope I don't get in much hot water with the missus, Governor, but we are here at Bass Pro, and I brought my credit card today. So anyway, folks, I just encourage you,
You're not the only hunter.
We've all been talking about it, and believe me, we have saw some unique firearms. There's a Marlin 336 in 35 Remington laying back there that I'm just absolutely drooling over. And many of you know those old Marlins, the lever action guns, probably have killed more deer in the state of West Virginia than any other firearm out there. So I love seeing some of these used firearm. Not that the new ones aren't special and the lightweight. I mean, the hunting technology has just evolved tremendously over the last several years. So again, I encourage you to get out there, enjoy these beautiful natural resources we have in West Virginia, and good luck chasing that trophy.
Thank you. That's great. I think it's so important to get all those safety tips and to learn. You know, DNR is on top of this, and we're doing a terrific job just helping our citizens navigate their way through all the various hunting seasons. Now, shifting over a little bit, I want to mention West Virginia. We're home to so much goodness here. Over 96 wildlife management areas. How about that? And this is actually a great thing. And you're going to be hearing, you don't know this, but I've been looking through some of the details because there's some opportunities with some of the trust funds, and there's some interesting things we're going to be able to do with the wildlife management areas, and be on the lookout for that in the upcoming months, because I've been doing my reading and I'm going to be talking about that soon. It's exciting. Over 8 state forests. You know, we're, I think, the second or third most forested state in America. You guys know that. I mean, we have so much going on. We have the most beautiful state. And nearly 1.1 million acres of national forest land. Now, these areas combined provide more than 1.6 million acres of public hunting opportunities, and it's managed in strong cooperation between the U.S. Forest Service and DNR. So it's a terrific thing. I want to give the chief of our wildlife resources an opportunity to come up as well. Paul Johansson, want to say a few words? Let me just, there you go. Thank you, Paul.
Good morning, and thank you, Governor. Thank you, Director, for the opportunity to be here this morning and talk with you a little bit about really incredibly important, I guess, tradition in West Virginia is the best way to speak about it, and I think the Governor articulated that quite well. Here in West Virginia, hunting is just so important. It's important to the families. It's important to folks that just get out and enjoy what West Virginia has to offer in terms of its outdoor experiences. So I want to talk a little bit about the opening day of buck season and the 2-week buck season that's almost upon us. Really, I guess feature in my thoughts how important this season is to our citizens and to our visitors that come. West Virginia is located geographically in a pretty unique spot in terms of being in very close proximity to some of the major metropolitan areas on the East Coast, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and we really attract a great deal of non-resident hunters to come see West Virginia, to enjoy our bountiful resources. And as the Governor mentioned, we have opportunities not only with abundant deer populations and opportunities to hunt those deer, but also tremendous opportunities in terms of public land, whether it's the million acres of national forest we have out in the high mountains of eastern West Virginia, or wildlife management areas and state forests that are open to folks, both resident and non-residents. Incredibly important. And for an eastern state, we really, I think, set the mark in terms of providing opportunities for hunters here in West Virginia. But let me talk a little bit about what's coming up, buck season. You know, it's one of those things where I personally know grown men and grown women who the night before buck season opens, they can't sleep. They're so excited. They can't wait for the opportunity to get up. And some of these are folks that have hunted all their lives, and when buck season rolls around, there's just something about it. There's just something about being able to anticipate and understand the opportunities to get out and enjoy West Virginia, but also have the opportunity to harvest a deer, bring that home, and be able to feed your family with the deer. But not only do we have that anticipation in terms of our adults, but many of our students, you know, Thanksgiving week is, many of our students have off for vacation, so it's a fabulous opportunity for students, whether they're college students or high school students or even junior high students, to get out and enjoy that resource, spend time with their family, and really that's what deer season is all about: getting outside, enjoying the resource. So what can we expect this deer season? Well, I am pleased to report that West Virginia has a very healthy and robust and abundant deer population across most of the state, and we are seeing and pleased to tell you that we have outstanding opportunities for those, both in terms of what our deer population supports, but also the habitat that's available, and again, noting the public lands that are available for both resident and non-resident hunters to enjoy. I will tell you that each year, our wildlife biologists and our natural resources police officers engage in data collection, looking at food conditions and mass conditions out there, and we do that for a couple of reasons. One of the most important ones is, how the food, the acorns, the berries, the nuts and whatnot, that drives production of our deer population and other wildlife species as well. So we monitor that fairly closely, and I will tell you that this year our acorn crop is just very much above average. It's really quite spectacular in terms of particularly chestnut and white oaks. And I mention that because that's going to be important. Deer condition, food conditions are important in terms of driving deer behavior, which can influence harvest rates, where the hunters might want to go. This year, with those abundant acorn crops that are out there, the deer are going to be back in the woods. They're not going to be quite as visible. They're not going to be using the open fields as much as we would normally see in a year where the acorn production is a little bit lower. So hunters, a bit of advice, you might check back in the woods, look at those oak flats. The deer are going to be back there. They'll be probably a little bit less visible, and as a result, they probably do, Governor. So it's going to require maybe a little bit of extra work, and hunting those open fields. You might want to change your pattern a little bit, but again, we're anticipating just an outstanding deer season this year, but recognize that that high acorn production is fabulous for wildlife, puts them in really good condition to survive through the winter months, and it also provides opportunities to sort of the hunters can target where they might want to go, look for those acorns. I will tell you the biggest factor in terms of what the overall harvest will be, the deer harvest will be this year, is oftentimes driven by weather conditions. I'm pretty good and our staff is pretty good, but we can't control the weather. I did take a look at the long-term forecast. Opening day looks pretty good. That usually indicates that the harvest is going to be good. Particularly the first 3 days of the season, weather conditions are vitally important, and we'll hope for good weather and dry conditions. As you make plans for the upcoming season, be sure to. I guess I have a couple of suggestions in addition to what the director indicated. Make sure you sight your rifle in. I want you to consider dressing appropriately for the weather. Reinforce the notion of 400 square inches of blaze orange is a requirement, and it's a great safety factor. But I think most importantly, I want to urge you to enjoy yourself. It's wonderful being in West Virginia. It's even better being in West Virginia's woods and enjoying nature and all that it has to offer. The last thing I'll say is, for those of you maybe that have been hunting for a while and have that experience, that woodsmanship, consider taking a novice hunter out. Whether it's an adult that maybe has always had an interest in hunting but has never had an opportunity, maybe it's a child. Share that tradition with those folks. It's a great tradition, and I think I'll just say enjoy yourself as well. Make sure you have a great, safe hunting season, and good luck to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Paul. I want to also take the moment to highlight that November is Wild Game Meat Donation Month. You know, we just got through a very challenging situation where people in West Virginia really responded. People stepped up to help their fellow man, and not only did the state provide resources to make sure that no one was going hungry, but so many West Virginians stepped up. They donated, and they knew what the stakes were. And I want to thank everyone for helping, because it really made a big difference. And we looked carefully to make sure we handled that situation just right. But I'd be remiss of me not to mention the role of another program that also made a difference during that time. It's called the Hunters Helping the Hungry program. I know I've actually talked to the Agriculture Secretary about this and others. This is a cool program because it shows that our hunters not only take great pride in putting food on their own tables, but they demonstrate remarkable generosity, right? And they donate their harvest to help families in need. So this is a wonderful thing. I know, Senator, you care a lot about that as well. And this guy, by the way, he's doing a great job as the state senator from this area. We're talking about him in a moment, and our wonderful delegate here. But since its inception, Hunters Helping the Hungry has processed more than 29,000 deer, resulting in more than 1 million pounds of highly nutritious meat. That's pretty cool. It's helping individuals and families who are in need. It relies on the generosity of hunters, financial contributors, and the processors who really step up as well. And it's a great partnership between the Mountaineer Food Bank, the Facing Hunger Food Bank, and DNR. But it's only possible because of the compassion of our hunters, so we really are grateful. And each year, you, the hunters, you deliver. So it's terrific. I wanted to mention that, and especially after all the activity, we want to make sure that our food banks, our food pantries are adequately stocked coming up for the holidays. That matters. We tried to help a lot on the state level to make sure that's the case, but please let us know if you hear anything to the contrary. But this Hunter program, I think, will make a big difference. Well, now, last but certainly not least, this is part of the program that's a lot of fun. We're announcing the return of the Big Buck Photo Contest for the 2025 hunting season. This is wonderful. It's a contest that's open to both resident and non-resident hunters, children and adults who submit a photo during this hunting season. If you've legally harvested a buck during the 2025 season, you get to participate in this contest. Now, what are some of the prizes? Well, they're pretty cool, actually. One winner will get a lifetime West Virginia hunting license. That's worth a lot of money. What is that worth about?
Could be from $800 to $1,000.
$800 to $1,000, pretty cool. Then a 2-night cabin stay at Cabway-Lingo State Forest or Seneca State Forest. Both are amazing places. You should go down to Cabway-Lingo. Amazing place. It doesn't get enough attention. I've stayed there in the past. I try to visit all the little tuckaway places in West Virginia, but I urge people to go down there. There are also 5 youth winners of the Bass Pro Shops prize packages valued at $50. Thank you for that. That's terrific. And then one non-resident winner of a Bass Pro Shops package. One non-resident winner will get a Bass Pro Shops package plus a 2-night cabin stay at the North Bend State Park or Twin Falls Resort. Twin Falls is beautiful. We're actually doing a lot of work around the park in terms of Department of Highways. And then, of course, North Bend State Park. That's incredible. If you have a chance to go out on the lake, it's wonderful up in Ritchie County. We just have so many amazing places. I'm fortunate to be in those places as well. And those are the perks as Attorney General and Governor. You get to see the beauty that our state has to offer. By the way, we have the Putnam Sheriff here, but he looks a little different today. Thank you, Bobby, for coming. Photos have to be submitted by January 9th, 2026. You also have to make sure you're submitting your 2025 hunting license and your DNR issued game check number. Finalists are going to be selected by random drawing, and winners are going to be announced by January 2026. And I want to say, as you go through the process, Mr. Director, I'd like you to involve some of these legislators that are here. Delegate Drennan's doing a lot of wonderful work. I'm happy you're here. Thank you. And then this guy, not only he's working to make sure he feeds the hungry, but I'd like him to be very involved as we're picking out the winners. Is that okay? Senator Kevin Bartlett's doing great work, and I want you to be able to, help be involved in this. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
I want to work with the legislature. There's so many good opportunities we wouldn't have but for some of the folks that are here today. So I appreciate it and grateful that you're here. So as we enter another buck firearms season, I wish every West Virginia the best of luck. Whether you're a seasoned hunter or you're heading to the fields for the first time, I want to wish you a safe, memorable, and very enjoyable season. Thank you, God bless, and we're grateful to be here today. Thanks.
Good job, sir.
Thank you, sir.